Hi, today we're going to discuss writing for snippets. Snippets are small pieces of information that search engines pull out of a blog to answer very specific questions. I'm going to answer a few different questions about snippets, including one, what a snippet is, which it kind of just did, ideal lengths of snippets, how to find snippets, um, places to learn more about snippets, how snippets will impact your SEO, and and I'm actually going to show you how you can write to specifically get a snippet. All right. So let's start with the first step. If you look here, I'm in Google and I looked up what is a snippet. And the dictionary definition is a small piece of brief extract. So this part right here is first spot in Google. And over here we have another bit of information. This is from Wikipedia. It defines a snippet as programming term for a small region of reusable source code, machine code, or text. Ordinarily, these are formally defined operative units to incorporate into large programming modules. Snippet management is a feature of some text editors, program source code editors, IDEs, and related software. Okay, that definition is all great and everything, but really it's just a small piece of information. And as SEO writers, we can use that knowledge to be able to write our blogs in a way in which they are more likely to rank for snippets. One of the ones that I like most is the how to. Let's go in here. Let's just do how to start a business. So this snippet was a little farther down. It's from the SBA.gov. It gives the exact steps of how to start a business. And as you can see, it's much bigger than what most of the positions show. That's really beneficial because in addition to it being bigger, people will either read this and decide, okay, yes, I want more information, click on it, or they'll ignore it and just use the information in there. It makes it really easy for people searching to get information. So the first step, then you'll go in there. And this typically clicks are up to 35% of views on a snippet will get a click because they already know that your blog is going to answer their question. And if it answers your question, they're more likely to read it because you're going to add some more details that will help them. There are a few different types of snippets. The main ones that writers are concerned with are paragraphs, lists, and tables. A paragraph should typically be 45 to 50 words. A list should be 4 or 5 bullets or numbers with a total of 45 to 50 words. Tables should typically be 3 to 5 rows that's going across and 2 or 3 columns going down. If you can, guess what? You also want to keep that to 45 to 50 words. And as you can see here, I have intentionally written all this where it is made to be ideal for snippets. The next step is how to find snippets to include in a blog. So, the easiest way is just go to Google and type in your keyword. Let's do dogs. So right here, that's a snippet. What is most nice dog? What is the smartest dog? What is the top 10 breeds of dogs? What is the cutest dog in the world? They're lying here. It's my dog. Another way to go is answer the public. So I don't know if you're familiar with this site, but blogging. You type in a word, it creates all these questions. Can blogging earn you money? Can blogging be a career? Can blogging really make money? Can blogging be profitable? Are blogs reliable sources? Are blogs still relevant? Okay, so you see there's a ton of different questions. Where to do blogging? Some of these are kind of a little weird. So you need to do a sanity check when you use this. Because honestly, like, well, yeah, you can do where to do blogging. Why? Like, it's bad grammar for one, and it's where to do blogging. Write where you feel like writing. Come on now, people. So you have to do a little sanity check on these, otherwise you'd be asking or answering some really silly questions. This one's not as bad as some I have seen. Yeah, I mean, this one's pretty good actually, but there's some I've seen that were just nonsensical, and the questions made no sense. If you use Ahrefs, you can also view questions. So keywords, car. And right here you see questions. And it lists the volume, the keyword difficulty, the cost per click, clicks per search. So, depending on how high your blogs already rank, you're probably not going to go straight for what is my car worth, because you'll be competing against Kelley Blue Book, which is a very well-known site for establishing the value of the car. Meanwhile, how to jump a car is probably a little easier to get. And if you happen to be a mechanic, which I am not, so I can't answer car shaking when I brake. I can't answer that. I could look it up. I could take the answers and I could rewrite them. But if I wrote it, it wouldn't be that credible. Now, if a mechanic writes it, then it's credible. But these ones that are 8 and 12, they're easy to get. And so I strongly suggest using something like Ahrefs if you can. Okay, so writing with snippets is not intuitively obvious. So you're probably going to read up about them some, as opposed to just trusting what I'm saying. Because, I mean, let's face it, it's a developer concept that then we as writers have to translate into how do we make this work. So it's a good idea to familiarize yourself a little with the concepts. And for that, you first want to go to Google. Google Search Central. featured snippets in the website page. I'll leave the link in the description below, but Google controls the web pretty much. So you need to look at their stuff and see what they want you to do and how they want you to do it, because you as a writer are not going to be able to do this entirely on your own. You can give the devs everything they need to successfully do it, but if your code's not done right, it won't matter. So there are some sites, lots of sites have resources. Yoast, which is used in a lot of WordPress sites. If it makes it really easy, and they give you instructions on how to format for different types of snippets. One of the most common ones is the how-to one. That's one that people really enjoy. How to snippet. If you want that as your heading 2, okay? Then you're going to do 1, research, keyword. Create list of questions. 3, shoot, sorry I spaced. After you create a list of questions, you're going to want to look up the questions on Google and read this snippet. Make the snippet better. So there are a few ways to make a snippet better. You can either shorten it, because a lot of times there's a bunch of extra words that don't need to be in there. Just get rid of them. You can lengthen it if the snippet is inaccurate or does not provide information. You can fix that, and it will make it way better. But you're going to need more. So the 5th step is make each of the list bullet points and a H3 header. Okay? 6. Write paragraphs. For each H3. 7. Write your intros and conclusions. And so this part will be a snippet, but I kind of gave away another secret too. Have you heard of schema.org? It's a site that tells you the ideal structure for Google to read your blogs. So what I did there is how to write snippets. So then I take all these. I don't like how that looks. We'll do that. blah, 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 45 words. Yep. You got it. 45 words. Do you really want me to look up? Okay, so I'm not going to do all that. You don't need me to do that. You don't want to watch me do that. But yes, so you can write the snippet, and the snippet can lead into the schema. But the important thing is, this should be an H2. The numbers or bullet points should be H3. Okay? That concludes the tutorial on how to write a snippet. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, make sure to click the like button. Also, please follow my channel if you want more information. Thank you. Bye-bye.